You keep asking God for a crown. But what if he keeps sending you a giant? What if the obstacle you're begging him to remove is the very doorway you are meant to walk through? What if your fear has been lying to you, branding your promotion as punishment? And what if, the louder the giant roars, the closer you already are to the throne with your name engraved on it? Destiny does not arrive politely. It does not knock at your door with flowers. Destiny rattles your windows in the night. It interrupts your comfort. It exposes your insecurities. It points at you in the valley, mocking you in broad daylight, and yet it is there, in that exact place, where kings are revealed. You look at yourself and feel small, ordinary, unprepared. You think surely someone stronger, taller, with better armor should face this battle. But God has no interest in borrowed armor. He is not looking for Saul's sword in your hand. He is looking for his spirit in your heart. Crowns don't drift down like feathers. They are claimed in the clash. God, why won't you make this easier? Because authority without character crushes, because a throne without testing becomes a trap. Because the sling you mastered in obscurity is the same sling that will steady your hand. When the crowd is shouting your name, the process is not cruelty. The process is mercy. Giants aren't detours. Giants are the curriculum of kings. Pause with me, right here. If this is speaking to your soul, don't drift. Don't scroll away. Subscribe. Share this with the one person facing their own giant. And stay with me to the end. Your next decision could be the stone that changes everything. Here is the unpolished truth. Your giant is not blocking your path. Your giant is your path. The battlefield is the interview room. The roar is the roll call. And the fear in your chest is proof that you are standing on holy ground. So breathe, plant your feet, and let this valley, the one you thought would bury you, become the very ground of your coronation. There is a pattern hidden in every promotion, and once you see it, you can never unsee it. It never begins with a crown. It begins with resistance. Opportunities rarely arrive wrapped in ribbons. They show up disguised as problems. Breakthrough wears battlefield clothes. Pray for strength, and God sends weight. Ask for wisdom, and he sends a riddle. Beg for boldness, and a louder voice mocks you first. This is not cruelty. This is calibration. Obscurity is God's favorite classroom. When no one notices you, he does. When no one applauds you, he listens. It is there, in the silence, that reflexes are trained. Patience over panic. Obedience over optics. Steadiness over spectacle. Invisibility is not punishment. It is incubation. The pasture is not beneath you. It is building you while you are off the radar. You practice the small things until they become precise. A sling, a stone, a steady wrist, a clean motive. What you master in private becomes the instinct that saves you in public. Authority is not a medal you wear. It is a weight you carry. If God increases your platform before he increases your soul, the platform will crush you. So he stretches you through late nights, through doors that slam shut, through silence that forces you back into his presence. This is the pattern. Identity before visibility. Character before crowns. Roots before fruit. So the next time resistance rises, don't misdiagnose it. Don't call it rejection. Ask instead, what muscle is God strengthening in me? What reflex is he installing? Where is my character still catching up to my calling? Remember David. He didn't borrow an identity that day. He carried one he had forged. In fields no one filmed, faithfulness in the secret place became fearlessness in the public place. Giants are not proof you are off course. They are mile markers that whisper, keep walking, kingdom ahead, so breathe. Stay steady. Honor the hidden grind. Because one day, the valley will call your name, and you won't have to pretend to be ready. You will simply be ready. David did not step into the valley unformed. He arrived from obscurity, from mornings that smelled like sheep and dust, from nights where songs rose to an audience of stars, from 1,000 small choices to be faithful when no one was watching. Obscurity is not a prison. It is a forge. It melts away your hunger to be seen and leaves behind only the hunger to be true. There, without applause, your motives are tested. There, without a crowd, you practice precision. There, without comparison, you learn your pace with God. David learned courage in secret. A lion, a bear. No audience. No headlines. But each victory carved confidence into his bones. Private courage became public credibility. Private worship became public weight. Notice what God used. Not Saul's sword. Not armor that didn't fit. But a sling. Simple, familiar, precise. The tool he had held 1,000 times. Greatness is often hidden inside ordinary habits. What you practice in peace is what steadies you in panic. Most of us despise obscurity. We mistake hiddenness for abandonment. But hiddenness is mercy. It is training without the cost of exposure. It is failing forward without ruining your future. It is building muscle memory for miracles. Think of it. The same hands that carried bread to brothers were the hands God trusted to carry destiny to nations. Every errand, every unseen task, every quiet act of diligence was preparation. So do not despise the small. Do not curse the pasture. Carry the bread. Play the harp. Chase the lions. Guard the sheep. Because these ordinary assignments are not wasted. They are rehearsals for a stage you cannot yet see. And when the valley finally calls your name, you will not need to borrow courage. You will not need to invent a new identity. You will not need to perform. You will simply arrive as the person the fields have already formed. A steady hand, a clear eye, a heart anchored in worship, and a sling, already warmed by your grip. Readiness is rarely loud. It does not announce itself. It is quiet, settled, certain. So if you feel unseen today, breathe. Hidden does not mean halted. God is not late. He is thorough. And when the moment comes, when the giant roars, when the crowd finally looks your way, you will discover the truth. You were ready. All along, when the moment came, David did not ask for a sword. He reached for what he knew. Not glamorous, not heavy, not impressive enough to silence critics. A sling and 5 smooth stones. There is a sacred lesson here. God does not bless what you do not have. He breathes on what you already hold. We wait for better armor, for perfect timing, for approval that never comes. And while we wait, the battle waits for no one. David's choice was simple. He reached for the tool he had practiced 1,000 times. He trusted the habits of hiddenness. He trusted that faithfulness in the pasture was enough to face a giant in the valley. 5 stones, not because he doubted God, but because wisdom walks with faith, prepared without panic, trusting without testing God. Faith is not volume. Faith is accuracy. So what is in your hand? A small skill? A steady habit? A sentence of courage you can speak today? A prayer whispered when no one hears? These are stones, ordinary, overlooked, but in the hands of the faithful, they fly straight. Let's name them. Focus, cutting through distraction. Discipline, showing up when feelings don't. Prayer, aligning your strength with His. Action, one small step today. Persistence, another step tomorrow. 5 stones, simple, but giants fall to simple things. Repeated faithfully. Borrowed armor slows you. Borrowed identity blurs your aim. But familiar tools make you dangerous. You do not need to become someone else for this fight. You need only be who God has already formed you to be. So breathe. Empty your hands of envy. Grip what God has given you. Run your fingers over the smoothness of the ordinary. Remember every hidden practice, every repetition in silence, every small act of faithfulness. They were never wasted. They were sharpening you. Now, lift 1 stone. Name 1 giant. Take 1 step. Release. And let God guide what you have the courage to let go. Because the miracle is not that David found a sword after the fact. The miracle is that he didn't need one to begin. 5 small stones, 1 steady heart, and a God who never misses. Most people hesitate. Most people negotiate with fear. But David did something different. He ran toward the giant. He didn't stall for time. He didn't wait for better odds. He didn't analyze the angle of the sun or the weight of the wind. He sprinted straight into the roar. Why? Because fear grows when you feed it delay. Every second you stare without moving, the giant swells larger in your imagination. Hesitation multiplies the monster. Obedience shrinks it. Courage is not the absence of trembling. Courage is motion. While trembling, your knees can knock, Your voice can shake, but your feet must move. Notice the math of the valley. Every step forward shrinks the silhouette. Giants look biggest from a distance, but proximity gives you precision. Close enough to aim, close enough to strike. So here is the rhythm. Breathe. Name the lie. Step forward. Aim, release, repeat. Your mind will whisper, tomorrow. Answer it today. Your pride will whisper, make it dramatic. Answer it, make it faithful. Your fear will whisper, what if you miss? Answer it, what if I don't? You owe fear no conversation. You owe God obedience. Running toward does not mean recklessness. It means clarity. It means your heart is anchored, your eyes are steady, your aim is true. Yes, people will talk. They will call it naive. They will call it arrogant. They will hand you their doubts like spare armor. Smile, bless them. Keep moving. You are not auditioning for their approval. You are answering your assignment. Here's the secret. Momentum breaks intimidation. The first lean forward breaks the trance. The second step locks your focus. By the third, you are no longer debating identity. You are living it. So what does running toward look like for you today? Send the message. Make the call. Confess the habit. Open the notebook. Pray out loud. Take the step, and when panic rises, breathe slower than fear. Let your soul remember. The God who trained you in secret fields is running with you in the open valley. Victory is not just the stone striking the forehead. Victory begins the moment your body leans forward into the roar. That is when heaven moves. That is when giants tremble, so run. Not because the giant is small, but because your purpose is not negotiable. Feet first, eyes steady, heart anchored. Let the ground feel your decision, and let fear learn it cannot keep up with you. The stone flew, and the giant fell. Silence. After so much noise. But David did not stop at silence. He walked forward and finished the work. Victory is not just the moment of impact. It is the follow-through, the steady step after adrenaline fades, the sober choice. When the cheering is loud, many victories are lost. Between the first fall and the final finish, David did not carry a sword, so he used the giants. The very weapon meant to destroy him became the tool of closure, the symbol of fear, became the proof of triumph. There is a lesson here. What intimidated you yesterday may become the very thing God places in your hand tomorrow. Follow-through looks like this. You don't just break the habit, you build the new routine. You don't just silence the toxic voice, you close the door it used to enter. You don't just end the cycle, you design the system that prevents its return. Finish the work. File the paperwork. Make the call. Change the password. Schedule the therapy. Pray again tomorrow. Small, wholly unglamorous decisions that guard the valley from resurrected giants. Be careful with crowds. They will crown you in one breath and question you in the next. Do not let applause define your identity. It is not their voice that kept you in the pasture. It will not be their voice that sustains you in the palace. And be careful with fatigue. After breakthrough, your soul will crave collapse. Rest yes, quit no. Rest that restores is different from rest that unravels. Rest in God. Let Him stitch together the muscles that victory stretched. Ask yourself gently, what must I remove so this win becomes a way of life? What system must I build so freedom sticks? What boundary will keep this victory from turning into relapse? Carry a token. David carried the giant's head. You can carry a sentence. Write it, repeat it. A simple reminder for your soul. God was faithful. I moved in obedience. Giants fall, seal it. Finish it, close the loop. Let the valley be a landmark, not a cycle. Because crowns are not earned by single moments. They are confirmed by follow-through. The crown did not make David a king. It only revealed the king he already was. Titles are loud. Character is quiet. The crown can be placed in a moment, but only choices repeated in the dark can hold it there. Remember the order, calling, then proving, then recognition. If recognition comes first, we start performing. If proving comes first, we start serving. Authority in the kingdom is not a seat. It is a weight, a stewardship, a borrowed trust. It is not yours to own. It is yours to carry, for the sake of others. So ask this dangerous question. Who gets lighter? Because I was lifted? Fear promotion only promotes you, it is not elevation. It is inflation. David's journey whispers a warning. Gifts may open doors, but only humility keeps you inside without losing yourself. The same hand that slung a stone must also play the harp, must also carry bread, must also write songs in caves. Authority is not freedom to be served. It is the courage to serve first. Beware the fog of applause. It blurs edges. It numbs cautions. It makes shortcuts look spiritual. When people chant your name, return to the pasture that shaped it. Keep the practices that kept you honest. Prayer in secret. Study in silence. Confession in humility. The small rhythms that protect you from the drift of pride. Influence is a mirror. It magnifies whatever you bring. If you carry wounds, they echo louder. If you carry wisdom, it spreads wider. Which is why God works on your heart before He widens your reach. He is not stalling you. He is safeguarding them. So let your leadership smell like fields, not palaces. Smell like sweat, like work, like faithfulness. Use power to shield the weak, not exploit them. True crowns protect, false crowns consume. Pray this simple liturgy. God, keep me small in my own eyes, clear in my motives, gentle in my strength, faithful when no one is watching, crown as consequence, authority as service, influence as intercession. This is how the pasture becomes the palace. Because destiny does not end with a giant's fall. It begins and where self stops needing to be the giant. One giant fell, but giants do not retire. New seasons bring new silhouettes, different armor, different strategies, but the same assignment. Trust, obey, advance. Do not panic when another roar rises after your last victory. Does not mean you failed. It means you are forming. God promotes by repetition, not to humiliate you, but to deepen you. Levels are not ladders, they are loops. Each loop walked with greater wisdom, each cycle approached with steadier hands. So carry forward what the last valley taught. Focus before the noise, prayer before the plan, action before the overthinking, boundaries before the burnout, gratitude before the grasping. Old lessons, fresh power. Name the new giant without drama, debt, distraction, division, disease, discouragement. You don't need speeches. You need stance. Feet set, heart quiet. Aim steady. Remember, intimidation is theater. It feeds on your attention. Starve it. Shrink the show. Return to small, faithful motions. Open the notebook. Send the message. Keep the appointment. Pray the psalm. Go to bed on time. Holiness is habits. Stacked like stones. Seek counsel, not a chorus. 3 wise voices will guide you better than 3,000 hot takes. Let older scars teach you where to step and where never to return. And when fatigue whispers, "You're back at the start," answer gently, "No, same valley." Stronger legs. You are not who you were last time. You carry memory. You carry muscle. You carry mercy. Pray this pocket prayer. God, make me unhurried in soul, undistracted in purpose, unafraid in obedience. Repeat it in the car, in the hallway, before the meeting. And when the giant falls again, and it will, do not worship the technique. Worship the faithfulness. Offer the credit back to the one who steadied your aim. File the lesson as a blueprint. So the next time shadows grow tall, your spirit smiles and says, "I know this valley. God and I have walked it before." David's secret was not his sling. It was not his aim. It was not his courage. His secret was his allegiance. The battle is the Lord's, not a slogan, a spine. Sentence that anchored his soul when fear screamed. Identity first. Strategy second. You are not the sum of your symptoms. You are not the size of your enemy. You are the beloved of God, chosen, sent, held. Yes, name your giant, but name your God louder. Fear multiplies when you meditate on the threat. Faith multiplies when you meditate on his character. So rehearse his resume. He kept you last winter. He steadied you through the last loss. He opened a door no hand could force shut. Memory fuels faith. Testimony gives sight. Speak to your soul like David spoke to his. Why are you downcast, my soul? Hope in God. Call your heart to attention. Words shape stance. Stance shapes aim, and refuse borrowed identities. You don't need Saul's armor. You don't need the internet's bravado. You don't need to perform certainty you don't feel. Honest plus obedient beats polished plus performative. God anoints truth, not theatrics, so practice holy focus. short prayers, simple confessions, quiet worship. Keep your soul light enough to move. Light travels faster. When shame hisses, "Who do you think you are?" Answer clearly, "I am His, I am chosen. I am helped. I'm held." You do not fight for identity. You fight from it. Trade outcomes for obedience. You release the stone. God writes the story. You aim with integrity. He multiplies the impact. Hold this liturgy in the valley, not by might, not by power, but by your spirit. Whisper it on the walk. Breathe it before the call. Write it on your hand if you must. And when the noise swells, lower your shoulders. Drop your weight into trust. Fix your gaze on the face of the one who never flinches. Giants are loud. God is steady. Remember whose battle this is. Stand as one already chosen. Aim as one already loved. Release as one already held. And let the valley learn. Your name is anchored in His name, and no roar can unmake what grace has made. So here we stand, the dust settling, the echo fading, and you, still standing. Look back only for a moment, not to worship the wound, but to witness the waymaker. You asked for a crown, He sent a giant. You asked for ease, He gave you endurance. You asked for signs, He gave you a sling. The valley you dreaded became the ground of your unveiling. The place you thought would bury you became the stage of your coronation. Not because you were fearless, but because you were faithful. Remember the sequence. Identity before visibility. Character before crowns. Obedience before outcomes. You aim. God amplifies. You release. God writes. Carry forward your 5 stones. Focus, discipline, prayer, action, persistence, not once. Every day. Not loud. Steady, because kings are not crowned by applause. They are confirmed by habits. Yes, new giants will appear. Yes, new shadows will stretch. But you will not be the same traveler. You walk with memory in your bones, mercy in your lungs, and a name over your life that giants cannot pronounce. So breathe. Square your shoulders and say it out loud, slow and steady. I don't need a lighter valley. I need a stronger grip. I don't need louder armor. I need a cleaner aim. The battle is the Lord's, and I am not alone. Now your action, pause this video. Write down the name of your giant. Choose one stone, one action you will take today. Do it within the next hour. Then return and comment, "My stone today is thou." Declare it, seal it, act on it. And if this message carried weight for you, subscribe. Share it with someone fighting their own battle. Save it for the next valley. Because we are building people who run toward their purpose together. Final line on screen and in your heart. Before the crown comes the giant. Before the giant falls comes your step.